There is a reputation that the Welsh have for singing, and it's an interesting topic. Apparently, there are written records from Roman times when the Romans occupied Britain that they could hear groups of men in particular singing in parts, in harmony.
No, come on, do that before the proof.
One thing the Romans left as part of their legacy, they left the Welsh with nice round vowels and rolled R's. Both of those qualities, it predisposes us to song.
Evening, gentlemen. As you've probably noticed, we've got some extras tonight. The boys are going to be floating around doing a little bit of filming. Now, all we have to do for them, the only thing we have to do is have a great rehearsal. Okay? That's all we have to do. Try not to look at the cameras.
You grow up in Wales knowing that singing is an essential part of the culture, but I didn't really understand how the way that we speak influences our singing voice. My wife Chris and I attended a 50th birthday celebration 20 years ago. Guitars were out, people were singing, and a few people said as the evening went on, "Come on Bill, you're Welsh, give us a song." And I didn't for two reasons. One, I felt I was too self-conscious, too shy, and more importantly, I didn't know a song well enough. So as my wife Chris and I were driving home, I said, I'm going to do something about this. And then I joined the Melbourne Welsh. What I've noticed about the feelings I'm left with, particularly after a concert, but also after a practice session, that it's a combination of a felt sense in my body and in my mood. It leaves you with a sense of lightness and some joy. I don't regard myself as a good enough singer to ever sing a solo part, but as a chorister, what tends to happen is that instinctively your voice blends with the people around you and they blend with yours. I think that actually is where the joy comes from, that sense of a shared experience.
Good. So, octaves please. Now sit up nice and straight. Make sure your backs are straight.
I'm David Ashton Smith and I'm the musical director, the conductor of the Melbourne Welsh Male Choir. The uniqueness of this choir and other Welsh choirs, I guess, is the fact that they don't use music, they don't hold music. And they have an incredible repertoire of over 100 songs. It's an amazing thing that they do and I have full of admiration.
Open your mouth. Go for it.
Welsh choirs, of course, have got a uniqueness about them in that the music they sing, the hymns and the songs, are very passionate, very warm. There are special moments in any of the performances when real magic happens, and quite often it's when the harmonies are really locked in and the music is really speaking the way it should. Very rousing a men's chorus. It's not the same as a mixed choir, but it has great rewards in the sound.
I think he's got a real talent. I probably should say that, shouldn't I? He's going to listen to this. I think his capacity to motivate. He's a perfectionist. He wants to get the best out of the choir and the best out of individuals within the choir. And so I really appreciate that. I mean, my musical education, I guess, compared to someone like David is minimal in lots of ways. But in the space of time that I've been in the choir, I've learned so much from him. There's always something I'm learning from each rehearsal.
And don't forget the rolled R's, please. Freedom, God, and a right.
My father was Welsh. He came from 3 generations of Welsh. Dad, when he retired, joined the Victorian Welsh Choir, and he sang in that for 10 years. He passed away in 2018. And I thought it was a good opportunity to keep the tradition going. But the fact is that I probably regretted once I started singing that I didn't do it earlier. Over the natural course of life, we lose things, our commitments professionally and even in terms of family wind down. And so there's a challenge of staying connected, but also finding activities which give you a sense of purpose and meaning. And I think the choir certainly fits all of those. I can still recall just how much I was welcomed into the choir when I joined and how much support I got to actually get up to the level of being able to perform. That's reflective of the sense of community and camaraderie and also inclusion that the choir represents.
I've had quite a number of jobs. Because I live closest to the choir rehearsal site, I've had the job of setting up all the chairs and things and getting ready for rehearsal for the last 20 odd years. I've had the job of section mentor for 23 years, choir marshal for around 20 years. I've been the deputy conductor for 17 years. Apart from that, not much to do. We went to the UK in 2008 to sing at the Royal Albert Hall. And at the time we arranged a joint concert with my old choir in Weybridge in England. And at that time I was conducting the Melbourne Welsh Choir. And I got to conduct the choirs, Melbourne Welsh and the Weybridge choirs together, and to conduct the 2 choirs that I had been a member of was just such a thrill for me. And we got a standing ovation, and that was my highlight. At that time, we were putting 70, 75 people on stage at once. The choir is not as large today, but there's something that happens in choirs. It comes up, it goes down. The reasons that they drop, of course, if you look at our age, I mean, I'm 86, and I'm not the oldest member of the choir. We start falling off the tree.
I think our youngest at the moment is a 39-year-old. Next year, the choir celebrates 40 years. We would love to get more choristers who are in the younger demographic, because having that bit more youth in the choir will really help us to go on for another 40 years.
I think we worked out that the next closest to me was something like 16, 18 years difference in age, and that the average age is now 74 and I'm 39. If you looked at me back when I was younger, I was a bit more of a rebel, metalhead and all that fun stuff, but as I got older and I sort of realised how fleeting things can be, it's really nice to listen to something that takes you somewhere else. You can do it if you try. You can do it if you try.
I think for the majority of the men in the choir who aren't Welsh, singing in Welsh presents some challenges. We also sing in Italian, we sing in Māori, so it's no different from that aspect.
We're going to have Bill go through some of the words for Nuntamana with you.
just to sharpen them all up a little bit. Thanks, Bill, very much indeed. Thank you.
It's not easy to pick up. I'm more of an audio learner than I am written learner anyway, so I find that repetition and I learn the sounds. But we do have some people in the choir who run like Welsh classes and practice the pronunciation.
I'll say the first line, if you all can repeat it then. So, nad ymynydd groew loew. The question of how it feels to sing in Welsh is a really big question for me. It's a really important question. I grew up in Wales, but because my mother's English, we didn't speak Welsh at home. And although we were taught Welsh in school, I didn't take advantage of the opportunity I had. So my increased fluency in Welsh has mainly come in the years that I've been in the choir. The next line, rhwng y broen yn sisialganu. And if you could put a bit, just a little bit of an H sound in that, rhwng y broen yn sisialganu. I've been very active in improving my Welsh fluency via Welsh language TV channels and via the various online resources that are available for people to study any language they want now. So singing in Welsh for me is really important, and because I understand the meaning of most of the songs and some of the older songs where the language is a little bit like Old Testament English, then I make an effort to try to understand the meaning of the songs, and it enhances the song for me. It takes it to a different level for me.
So tonight it's the audition for membership of the choir, and I'll be singing Canwn. Got two wonderful mentors, Ian and Bill. So here I am now, confident to be able to sing the song and hopefully get my tie. We better go in then, shall we?
Yeah, curtain call, I think.
Curtain call, thank you. Coming through.
Hey, you realise this is a real
So, Neil, you did that extremely well, and congratulations.
Talk about it. It went well, I suppose. Yes, I'm quite thrilled. It's wonderful to be a part of the group, and joining in with the singing and the harmony, and it's wonderful. And of course, under the baton of David Ashton Smith, who you might not know, he's actually profoundly deaf. Well, you must be really to actually allow me into the choir, so that's what I'm thinking.
I'd like to welcome to the choir.
Thank you very much indeed.
Ceremonial.
And I'm looking forward now to my first concert and many more to come.
Very good.
I work in a city environment that's go 12 hours a day, every day of the week. For me, it's a really good break and reminder that the world can slow down. When I feel like I'm getting too overwhelmed, I've got 50 guys out there who will come and say, "Hey man, you're alright, you're looking a little stressed today." And I don't even notice, and it's when they say it that they remind me, and they're just wonderful to be around. And then I get to come to days like this and sing beautiful songs like Danny Boy and stuff, and it just slows everything down.
Okay, while everybody is paying attention, please, phones.
A lot of people have said to me, do they act like fatherly figures? And it's not like that at all. It's very much a case of brothers in arms more than anything else.
Actually, just one more thing while we've got everybody's attention. I just want a huge thank you to Michael for organising this. I think we've got enough food for the next 2 weeks.
You won't go home hungry.
I know I mentioned before that once I joined, I probably had this feeling of regret that I hadn't joined earlier. And I think it might be the sentiment of a lot of the male members of the choir who have joined later in life. They'll often say, you know, they wish they'd have joined earlier.
I see it within all of the guys. I think the camaraderie and just the effect on people's mental health is just amazing. So many of the choristers treat it as the highlight of their week.
So if there is any younger person out there thinking about it or has an interest in singing or maybe even hasn't thought about singing before, is not to wait, is to join and to embrace choir singing.
Something that becomes part of your life. Somebody comes to my home and says to my wife, "Where's Ray?" She says, "Listen, because I'll be singing somewhere." It's something I do. It's something that most of these blokes do as well. They love singing. It's a great thing.
Well done, boys.